Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today in this presentation, I will try to cover about BYDs versus Tesla while using the SWOT as well as the SCAMPER analysis. These both companies are, as we know, that electric vehicles making companies. BYD is based on the China, while Tesla is an American production. So first of all, let's talk about the SWOT analysis of BYDs. What are the threats towards the Tesla? So initially, as we noted, the strengths of the BYD is that it have a strong position in the Chinese electric vehicles market because it have effective pricing as well as the product range is really affordable. Apart from that, when we talk about their weaknesses, the BYD's weakness is that they are not as much recognized outside of the China. So their home market is only the China, although they want to expand globally. So opportunities could be, as I mentioned in my previous sentence, like they can be expand globally. They have ability to capture market in the Europe as well as in the North America, so that it will position itself as a value as this Tesla. Apart from that, when we talk about the threats could be the technological development as the innovations and the new developments that Tesla is bringing. Apart from that, if there would be a global price war, so it could be a threat for BYDs as it's a really growing company. Like in this slide, as you can see, the strengths are like domination of BYDs in the China electric vehicles, like it have 30% of market share in the China. Like in, we can see it sells electric vehicles around 1.5 million units in 2022. It was around 30% of the market share of China. Including these, other strengths of BYDs is their effective cost pricing strategy so that it attract a lot of customers. So the price competitivity compatibility is that like BYD's vehicle are compared with Tesla, it's really affordable and cheap. So there's the budget conscious customers are really oriented to these companies as compared to Tesla. So diverse product portfolio, as we can see, BYDs offer a range of models. Not only they focus on the cars production, they are now developing a product electric buses. Apart from that, sports unit vehicles which are electric based. So these are their diverse portfolio. So BYD's innovation are a lot, but one of their main innovation is that they have built battery, which means it have the capacity to be charged within the short interval of time, and it have a lot of safety enhancement as compared to other batteries. Apart from this, the charging infrastructure, a company is rapidly expanding its charging network, making it easier for BYD owners to access it fast charging. So apart from these trends, let's talk about the opportunities. What opportunities BYDs have? As I mentioned before, it have the ability to expand in the Europe as well as in the North America, so that it can be known in the countries like Norway, Netherlands, Poland, Spain, all these countries, so that it can uh, sales their product all over the Europe, including North America. Another opportunity is that it have the ability to position itself as an alternative to the Tesla. Why? Because the vehicles are that much comfortable the way the Tesla is. and their price is really cheap, low price, and upper middle class families which cannot afford Tesla could become towards the BYD. So its value positioning is that it's more affordable as compared to Tesla. So it is easy that a lot can be attracted towards this company. So let's look at this graph. Initially in China, the Tesla sales were 1,042,000, but later on in last year it was only 1,015,000. And in the Europe, it was 1,012,000. And now in the recent year, it was fall and it was only 98,000. So threats, of course, the day by day progression of BYD company threatens Tesla. So, what are the regulatory challenges? The first one is that they are facing the safety concern. As nowadays everyone is literate, they are concerned about various environmental issues, global warming, global pollution. So that's why they are raising the question towards Tesla that we have the emission concerns towards your company. So including this, there is a price competition. Of course, BYDs have low price as compared to Tesla. So being an electric vehicle, it's really affordable as compared to this. So it could be the challenges for Tesla. So in the conclusion, I would say the strategies for Tesla to encounter BYD's competitive threats. So it needs to address initially their cost structure so that they would attract more and more buyers towards its company. Tesla can be a successful brand if their price is equal to the BYDs, at least if it's not cheaper than BYDs. So now we will compare BYD versus Tesla while using SWOT analysis. So as we know, as I mentioned before, the strengths and opportunities which BYDs have and the threats that Tesla is facing. So the main cost and the safety advantage of BYD is that they have lower cost of their batteries. They have longer lifespan. In less interval of time, it have the ability to charge, and their lifespan could be more. So they are environmental friendly. They are safety. They cannot be overheated, and it can protect from fire hazards. So now let's talk about this slide like BYDs versus Tesla. If you talk about the sales of BYDs, it was 2.2 million units sold in 2023. But when you talk about Tesla, it was only 1.3 million in 2023. So it was quite a large difference. So now let's talk about the Scamper innovation for BYD to differentiate in the US market. As we know that in the Scamper process, uh, we can use these techniques. There are 7 to 5 techniques that can be used by any market or a company to be an initiative and to bring their modification in their company to be successful and sustainable. So first of all is substitute. The main thing is that they can replace the traditional car leadership with their online ordering. So they can adopt the home delivery system so that they can reach the customers directly rather than dealing with their traditional dealerships. So they can combine. What does this mean? This is that the home energy storage system that can be used by BYD's vehicles. So adaptation. If they are making the electric buses and electric cars, they could go towards sports unit vehicles, which are based on electric system. Modification, one of the main modification could be the subscription based models. They could let their customers to have these units based on the subscriptions. So that's all for me. Thank you so much for my. Okay, so let's conclude BYDs compared with Tesla. As we know that the BYD's cost advantage, their safety features are more, they are environmental friendly, they are expanding production capacity could be posed by the Tesla market if they cannot innovate. So BYDs should be focus on their innovation and market expansion. So these things are really necessary for the BYDs to be more successful as compared to today and to be a sustainable company in coming decades. So thank you so much. That was all for me. Have a nice day.